So I wanted to start off this episode by just sharing this message with everyone out there. I want you people to always remember that your work is paying off. You just don't see it yet, but you soon will. So it doesn't mean because you don't see it as of yet that your work is not paying off. The only thing that separates a person that succeeds and a person that doesn't succeed is the consistency. We all have the vision, we all have the dreams, but the only thing that separates us as people is the fact that other people are consistent, other people are disciplined, other people don't stop up until they get what they want.
The end of me was actually just a semicolon for a pause. What I thought was the end of me was just a full stop at the end of a sentence. What I thought was the end of me was just the end of a paragraph for me to read the verse. And that can happen in verse. Ladies and gentlemen, Manzini.
I can get it, I can get it. I can reach it, I'm
Katlego, Molatlhegi, how are you?
I'm well. I'm awesome. And how's you?
I'm going to go to the next one. I'm
gonna go to Tswana sa ko gae.
going to go too deep.
I'll try my best. I'll try my best.
So, just to make you feel comfortable, imagine this to just be a normal conversation, né? Like the conversations that we usually have off screen. I would say don't be afraid of the screen, but I'm just like at the same time you're an actor, so I don't understand how you can be afraid of the screen. Compared to me, yes, I can be afraid of the screen, yes. But yeah. So tell me more about yourself, like your background, where you're coming from, your family.
All about that.
Just everything about it, yeah.
Okay. So. Do I look at you or do I look at the screen?
Anyway.
So, my name is Katlego, Molatlhegi. Those are my ideas.
Bridget.
You can't judge. You can't even use that name.
That's the first. I'm gonna use it. That's the first time I hear that name, bro.
If you use that name, you don't use that name.
Okay.
Yes, that's my name. And I was born and bred in Johannesburg.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm originally from the Northeast Province, in a small village called Mofenyi. A very outskirt village, like a real good place. But I spent all 21 years of my life in Johannesburg.
When?
Next month.
Oh, next month is October. Okay.
I'm growing. Yes, so I grew up in North Cliff. I'm an only child.
Only child?
I'm an only child.
Wait, and that's how I cook arrange.
Okay, let's not. You're gonna explain yourself. He must explain himself. Yeah, but I'm an only child, and I'd like to believe that I'm a bubbly person, I'm a people's person, but at the same time, as I grew older, I realized I'm actually a loner. Like, I prefer to be alone. I think that's where I get my energy from. But yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, and I have a huge interest in the arts.
What made you to be so like, okay, yeah, because my next question was gonna be what ended up making you choose to do? You're doing BAC, yes?
Yeah.
Bachelor of Accounting at UJ. I know this, people don't know this, but yes. So what made you end up choosing BAC, whereas you're a person that is in love with art?
Okay. It's a deep story, but it's not that deep. But yeah.
Take your time. We're not in a rush.
Right. So
because anyway, this thing we're gonna crop it into many parts. We're not gonna release the whole 1 hour if it is 1 hour.
Oh God.
So just take your time.
Okay, no problem.
Not in a rush.
So I've always known, right, that's my passion. Like being on stage, you just feel like, you know what, this is me. Like everything that has to do with the arts. Back then,
when did you discover this passion?
From crash, because that's when you start little plays and stuff, and then that's when you get given roles. But like in primary school, I had a teacher who really believed in me in my grade 5 year, grade 6 year, grade 7 year, and she was like, you are you are meant for TV, you are meant to entertain. Like I was a public speaker throughout my schooling years, a debating person, like couldn't make it into the arts, right? But now when matric came, or rather when grade 11 came, it's now really starting to apply, right?
Yeah.
So no lies, I have a best friend, I have a close friend, right? We did everything together, right? And her brother is an accountant. And when I used to visit her, we used to go to his place. And his place like that house, I grew up in North Cliff in a suburb, but then it's very seldom to find black people who have like huge houses and stuff. And then his house is like so amazing, and that inspired us. And then obviously you're doing well in matric, you're doing well in grade 11, so it's a thing of, am I going to study arts though, if it's a passion? Like I feel like you're on the inside of me, so do I have to make it? I didn't know there's things you can actually go to school to learn for, because if you respect the craft, you can go learn more about it. But it was that whole, no man, I do have a bit of mental capacity. I'm doing well. I can do something more challenging because I love a challenge. And also the money part was also inspiring. But the most big part was reality. Right?
What do you mean by reality?
Reality told me, I don't come from like I was brought up by a single mother, and I know her struggles, and knowing the entertainment industry, it's not really stable. You understand?
Okay.
So I have a lot of black texts to take care of and stuff, promises.
But why do you say it's a lot of black texts? Because you're the only child, and then it's only your mother. It's only the two of you guys.
It really is a lot, because in my mind, she's not living the life she's supposed to live.
Okay.
So it's too much, because before Nakiba Shapo, I have to make sure I'm grand. Like it's a promise I've made to myself, it's a promise I've made to her. So I'm like, will this be possible with the arts? I trust myself, I believe in myself, but I didn't have funding. Like for example, I didn't have funding to do arts as well. So I went to these.
Arts doesn't have any bursaries.
It's very seldom.
Oh, that you find them.
It's very seldom, but also I didn't even put effort in it because I was already.
It's in you.
Yeah.
So you didn't feel like.
I told myself, for after I do BEc, I'll go straight into it.
Just before we continue, I was talking to this other friend of mine this other time, but I feel like, personally, and please don't judge me for who I am. I feel like
How? This is me.
I feel like, because I was talking to this other guy, because I remember there's this other conversation that we once had, and then he was like, God forbid if he were to lose his mother, he felt like he would just give up on everything. I understand. When he said that, I was just like, okay, you know what? I feel like right now he is just caught up in his feelings.
Yeah.
So me saying anything, he's not gonna understand whatever I'm saying right now. So let me just let him be for some time. After some time, Fede, I was standing outside, and then he approached me. Fede, he was not there to talk to me per se, but he was just there to get some fresh air. So then I was like to him, Yazi, dude, I feel like personally I've gotten to a point where I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to let the pressures of home push me to how can I put this? I don't want the conditions of my home, because right now as we speak, I don't like disclosing such things. Mara, we're practically staying in an RTP.
Yes.
Our location, it's load shedding. Why? I understand. So it's not the very best location. So for someone who is a typical maybe black person, he would be like, okay, you know what? I want to push so that I can take my family out. It doesn't mean right now I'm not pushing, but I'm just saying I don't want my conditions to now end up pressurizing me, because now if you're pressurized by that, you might end up now doing things which might not make you happy, just all in the name of taking your family out. And again, me as a person who believes in God, ne, I'm always like, uNkulunkulu mangabe, He wants me to be the one who alleviates my family out of poverty or out of whatever bad lifestyle we have. If He wants me to be the person, He's going to put me in the right position, because now it's possible to put like He has other plans of how to alleviate them from that poverty. So it's kind of now unfair on yourself for you to be pressurizing yourself with, okay, you know what, I want to give my mother. Yes, it's a good thing. Yes, it's a good thing. I understand what I'm saying. Like you must not let it now push you. Like every time now you're feeling down, you just like, you know what, must push my mother. You must have like a bigger reason over and above that.
Totally understand.
Over and above that.
It's so crazy because you sound exactly like her. Cause
like your mother.
Yeah. Because I recently.
I'm matured.
Matured this one. I recently had a serious conversation with her. I'm telling her, hey, the year is deep. Like, I'm not happy. I just want to get this degree done. Like CCA, never told me do. Like when I think about it, I'm just like.
Yeah, City, you shouldn't just go there. You
I
must
don't
be
want
really
to talk about the life cards today. I hope that's fine. But yeah, I spoke to her and then Kimlela, from the depths of my heart, really I'm not happy. And when I actually told her, a huge part of the reasons that I'm doing it for her, she was very kind of betrayed.
Okay.
She felt so touched at me. She was like,
she's a parent. When I get that one is a parent.
She was like, baby girl, I know you know what, you have good intentions at heart, but you are young, you are capable,
Exactly.
You need to live your life,
Exactly.
understand? And then it came to a thing of, okay, I don't give up on something I've started. So honestly speaking, I can't just leave BIAC and be like, I'm going to acting I'm not blind. So the fact that I'm here, it means I'm supposed to be here, you get me? So let me just carry on with this work until I end, you get me? Because I don't believe in ending stuff prematurely. You understand? It's not that it's so depressing to the point where when I wake up, I'm depressed. I'm like, I'm depressed. It's not that deep. I can see the light. I am motivated by people who are doing as well.
We are depressed.
I know. I know. You always talk about it.
What is your advice to someone? Because now the reason why I wanted to start maybe from your past up until your journey into varsity,
yes,
is because I believe with our conditions, with people, okay, let's say for example people who are living from the middle class going down, which is in most cases as black people, we're not exposed. I feel like at primary and at high school we're not so exposed to all the options that we can choose from to actually kind of be able to learn from ourselves. As a result, I believe some people end up choosing career choices going into varsity based on that little bit of information that they have at that point in time. And then 1 year, 2 years down the line, like myself, 2 years down the line, they find with intellects, you know what, this is not the one. Yeah, this is not the one. So what is your advice to a person out there who's maybe going through a similar situation now, King? They've started this now, and also there's that little pressure from back home with now you've started, and let's say for example if you stop, you're gonna lose your bursary. Let's say for example you have a bursary, so if you stop, you're gonna lose your bursary. So which means, and you need that bursary in a sense. So if you were to change, it's that thing out here, you now have to punt another bursary. If you don't punt another bursary, which means you're just gonna stay home. What's your advice to that person who is in that conflicted situation, this is depressing for me to continue with it, there's no other choice, because I'm just whatever that I want to do, I would need to be able to find myself whatever passion to maybe fulfill whatever passion. So what is that advice to a person who is in that conflicted situation, that tricky situation like myself? So this is your advice.
It's your turn. like receiving,
I
being
see
on
that.
the receiving end. Now man's like,
You must give.
how do I give such wisdom? You know what? Like, I'm even afraid to advise because I know, like, whenever we talk about this, like I have chills on my spines because I know how serious it is. Like, I know how deep it is. Like, you know, you've told me, you know, and I would be like, I can't give you the answer that you want to hear. This is from me. You understand?
Okay.
This is from me. You understand?
She's crazy, I told you people.
Yeah, but onto that part. But anyway, like on a real, I'm trying to make it light because this is too tense. But on a real, in a situation like that, when you know your situation, like, you know, I'm having too many voices in my head because I'm conflicted between faith and reality. Because faith says, you know, God will never forsake you. So even if you leave this degree, He will make a plan for you to come out, and that is exactly like what should happen. You get me? Like loss, because mental illness is real. It doesn't matter who you are, and it starts with an idea. It starts with a small emotion like that, like just being depressed with school, not knowing how your future will be in the next 5 years. You get me? So, okay, let me just put it straight. My advice is that you should put yourself first in that situation, your mental state first, and that is to release yourself if it's on that level, to release yourself from that depressing level. You get me? Because
just maybe to make it lighter, and I saw this other meme this other time. I am for taking care of my mental illness, no matter how tense course is. But now the problem is when I take care of my mental self, cause suffers, which as a result makes me mentally suffer. So now it's the same thing that takes me back to one thing.
Right? So I'm gonna try mix the faith part and the reality part, right?
Yeah, please just go into that.
If it's on a state where it's affecting your mental health, then loss. But don't degrade yourself to the point where something means there is no plan.
True.
You need to have a plan.
True.
Sometimes I feel like people are scared to push themselves to a level just because sometimes you have to do things. I mean, like, we went to primary school. Some of us didn't like primary school, but we had to do it because you have to get to varsity. You get me? So there's some certain things that you have to do and you don't want to do them, but they are a bridge so that you can get to where you want to be.
True.
You get me? So just in a summary, if you are at a state of waiting, depressed, like you are literally in a state of now it's give or die. Weigh the options. Think about your life in that state, and when you're at home doing nothing.
I can happen.
Ubali title also varsity or not, but
busy over 200.
Right. So you have to weigh them.
So which means in essence sometimes the choice is not necessarily about the best option, but it's more of like about the least worst option.
Yes, and it's on a case by case basis.
Oh, well.
Like if I were to advise you as compared to somebody else, it would be different because now I know the strength you carry as a person. I know the strength you carry. Yes, you can't just give people advice or motivator or some foundation. You have a very solid foundation and you understand yourself. So be aki it's mentally challenging.
But for everybody.
For everyone.
My say brothers are crying. I am a candy board.
Hey, but you are able. Get me.
Okay,
you are capable. I'm not really yet.
Yeah, and by the way, people, I must say, I feel like I'm at this point that I am at right now, by God's grace. If I was not a praying person, I feel like that's why I usually say, I would like to say, with in second year, I feel like I went through depression in a sense, because I remember in second year, I feel like I got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I haven't stopped praying. Like I was just like, born. Gee, I was just so frustrated. I was just feeling I passed the second year, went into third year, but things just got worse. That's why, as a result, I ended up having to repeat third year because now it was just too much for me. I think what has kept me pushing this year, it's that thing I'm always having a self conversation with like get to do okay sharp. You don't like what you're doing right now. Is there any other better option? Then I'm like, okay, no. Okay, maybe there's another option, but is it solid? No. So you do see it like at some point you have to make a move. And sometimes it's not necessarily about the best move in a sense, but it's just okay, sharp. Let's try to choose the least worst option in a sense. So I did the things for me this year. Because literally, I feel like sometimes I get through situations where I'm just like, if I am to reflect back on them, I'm just like, I really have no idea how I went out of that hole, because I'm just like, whoa. Yeah, Bragod is
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Bragod people. Shout out to Bragod. Amen. Gekam. Okay, so how is and then we spoke, and then you first introduced to me your baby, your planned baby last year.
Yes.
What inspired you to have this baby, apart from the fact that you're passionate about it? What inspired you to write about the story called Mofenyi? Just give people maybe a tap into your thinking process behind Mofenyi.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Mofenyi has been conceived for what now? For about a year before you actually started executing it. Because I knew about it last year June already, only for you to execute it this year June.
Yes.
Pregnancy 1 year.
When 12 months. I saw clothes on one. I just did. When
born.
Yo, you are taking me back. You're taking me to deeper things.
Let's go back.
I was not ready.
Let's go back.
I was not ready. Like on the real, it's a very deep thing, but I feel like it will help someone out there.
Yes.
Understand?
Oh yes. What I also forgot to mention at the beginning of the interview is that I want you today to wear the big sister cap for
Oscar.
Yeah, be Oscar today. You just being that person looking. You've went through certain things, and you just want to give advice to people who are at the commencement of those things. People who are still thinking about starting those things, but maybe are very fearful. Because I mean, BX on its own is very demanding. Number one. And for you to be able to now incorporate a side hustle as well, which maybe might not pay you, but it's because of that passion, it's just something else. So, yeah. Mofenyi, what?
Okay, so I'll take it a little bit back to end of matric. End of matric, I knew I'm funded by a bursary. I'm going to study accounting. I know it's not my passion. I've never even liked accounting that much for high school. But then I need to be sane. I need to keep myself sane. Like, and the only way I'll be sane is when I'm doing something I love on the side. You get me? So I knew I have to do acting somehow. I need to keep that side of myself active.
Me and you are like...
You understand? You need something to keep you sane.
Yeah.
So, that was the idea.
Oh, sorry. Actually, that could be an advice as well. With like, if you're passionate about something, but you're still busy with something else, maybe to keep yourself sane, just do it part-time in a sense, just to,
like,
always...
do that.
Yeah.
It will keep you motivated. For me, that is my motivation. And then with regards to people, I know maybe this was going to be a follow-up question, but I want to really say it quickly. Yeah, people say okay, BX is demanding, me is demanding, right? Like everything is demanding. Okay, BX is on another level, but just like there's 24 hours of the day, and you know that you don't go to class and study for 24 hours of the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's those 2 hours where you are literally like fooling around, watching Netflix or like cooking or something. Those breaks, you can like locate them to your passion, and that's exactly what I did. That's why I didn't feel like I was lacking into some way. You get me? It's to do with time management. You are prioritizing, and then you don't treat it like it's a job. You treat it like it's my chill time. You get me? So there's time. There's time. Even if you're studying actual sciences, there's time. Yes.
I bet they would beg to differ.
Yeah, I know. I have a friend who's studying it. He's almost not fine.
Okay.
But yes,
so
on the topic, sorry. But yeah, so I knew that I have to do something on the side. And as you know, if you're really serious about getting into the entertainment industry, you have to get a representative and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I did all the processes. I was an extra in a few soapies for a time, up to a point where it got depressing. Like, cause I knew, like, I don't know if you know what happens before you become like you boom or whatever, but you have to go through the process of being the person who's holding a glass of juice at the back of the main actors.
No.
And sometimes you're not treated well, you know. I literally started from the bottom. Like, now thinking about it, it makes my heart so, like, I really did not like that time, but I realized what it's part of the process.
Yeah.
And I knew that starting as an extra doesn't always put you there. You get me?
Mm.
So I need to do something for myself. And yes, I'm represented by agents and whatever, hey, types job in Mozambique, blah, blah, blah. But they're wasting my time. Now I have a vision. Why are they not putting me where I want to? Because like I want to, when I start something, I want it to happen fast. I'm sure you've seen how impatient I am. Like, I want things to happen now.
Impatient.
I'm impatient.
I thought I was impatient.
Guys, I'm impatient. I'm impatient. I like things to happen quick, and that was sometimes bad, but in this sense, this flaw in my character really helped me because it pushed me. And now I have a close friend, and I'll mention his name, Uluis, my best friend. Shout out, bro. So he's my friend. We always chill in class together. We share our dreams together, and we talk, right? And for a consecutive week, I was depressed. No cap. I was sad. I was bummed. I'm like, dude, I don't even think this acting thing is for me. Like, why is it not moving? Why is it taking time? He's like, dude, when are you in a rush? You know, I'm like, he's like, calm down and stuff. I'm like, why? Because I knew people who had their breakthrough quick, you know, like, it was just a lot, and I had to speak to my inner self, you know. But bear in mind that haste in my character helped me, because that's how Mofenyi came. So this is what happened. He's like, okay, Kat, these people who are representing you are not going at the pace that you want. And he gave me a quote, which I still live by. I don't know if it's a quote, but a story by Tyler Perry. You know what happened with Tyler Perry, right?
Just maybe recite it.
Yes, Tyler Perry is the first American black male to do big things in the film industry.
Oh, wow.
Like his own production, his own
studio
plays. Like, he's big, you understand? And he used some line in an interview. He's like, they were failing to make a table for me so I can dine. So I created my own table. You get me? And I went back. I remember, guys, I was in K something there by the basement having accounting. I wasn't even concentrating, because whatever Louis said to me that day is what changed me. I'm like, keep liking, because I have an idea of like being a star in something, also like uplifting people's talents and stuff. So I can do it. I'm very capable at writing. I'm very capable at starting. So I'm gonna start. And that day, I prayed about it. I called my mom, my prayer warrior. Shout out, mom.
Shout out, moms.
I called her. I'm like, woman of God, there's something here in my spirit. Please, let's pray about it. And we prayed about it. And then that day, God did the things, because I literally like dreamed about Mofenyi. The first part, bear in mind, there's 4 versions of Mofenyi. Totally different storylines.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I dreamt about it from the beginning to end. As weird as it sounds, that's what happened. And I called her and I'm like, oh my gosh, this happened. And you know, when you have somebody who believes in you and they get excited, they were like, oh my gosh, hey, like, she was really empowering me. And I went to class that day, and I was literally telling Bruce everything. Like, dude, that time I was using a P10. Huawei P10. I'm like, Huawei is doing fire with pictures. We're gonna do this whole. It was a movie by that time. We're gonna do it with phone.
So Mofenyi was actually the one to movie.
It was a movie. He was like, "What, dude? No, this thing is big. Like, no, we need a camera for this. We can make this big." And I was like, "I don't have a phone. I don't have funds. Where do I start?" He's like, "We're gonna hustle," and that's where it, in essence, became our baby because he got a camera first. You get me? We hustled, and he got a camera. He started learning. You understand? I wish one day, like, he could say his part of the story because it's very beautiful. He is a BX student who had a passion in pictures, got a camera, taught himself taking me photographs every Friday after class until he got perfect, got his second camera, and by 9 months or something, he had his company, film company, Measure and Viewers. He signed up his company. That's how.
Is he signing up?
Yes, the boy.
Where's focused?
Bona. Nerele in a speed. We were in a speed. You understand?
Sure.
So it's nice to have people who are in the same pace that you. Because being calm is sometimes a flow. You procrastinate until us. Now I can't die.
You're so serious.
Yes, but I'm being for real.
Oh,
that's what happens. You must start. That's my biggest quote. Start.
Begin.
That's how Mofenyi came. I told him about it. It started off as a movie. We were gonna shoot it with a P10 lights. He was like, hell no. A few months later, he got a camera. It wasn't good quality. He's like, quality is big. We need to get a camera with quality.
It's important.
He got a camera with quality, and we started shooting at the end of the year or beginning of this year. We stopped. We had to change the storyline the first time, change the storyline the second time, I changed the storyline the fourth time because of COVID, and finally,
boom, shagalaka.
That's what happened with Mofenyi. It happened because I was tired of waiting. I was tired of feeling less of myself, and I'm like, yes, I'm a woman. I know the world can be against me because I'm a girl. I don't know anything. I'm amateur at everything, but I'm starting and I feel like
so when I die. You die. Mario die having tried.
I die having tried.
That's the important part. Oh, and by the way, I think it's important to point this out. With Katlego beginning, I was not even supposed to be in Chapwood. I'm a mistake. I'm a mistake. No, I'm a mistake. I was a second option.
It's not even
a second option. Second option. It's fine.
I swear.
It's fine.
Yes, things happen for a reason, and I'm happy that they happened the way they happened. No, guys, he's not an option. Let me tell you, he's the best option. He's the best thing that ever happened. He's Mofenyi's godfather. I'm telling you, the production, and yeah, I'm telling you, like, to be honest, you were not a second option. The thing that happened was my worst fear happened, and that is depending on people who you think you know. I had a guy who was gonna play Mofenyi. He's an actor, like, as in he does stuff for
does theater,
yeah, whatever. But then he feels himself he's not humble. One day I asked him to shoot. You get me? And he was like, it's too late, most test. I have informed him maybe on a Monday, give him a lot of Friday. You get me? So maybe that week was too quick for him. But for me, it's not quick because I know how things work in production. Your agent can call you today saying, please be ready tomorrow at 3, and we have to make a plan. But I don't want to be like that. I work with time and I respect people's time. But then he kind of bombed me, and I was hurt, and I literally uncasted him immediately because I realized, sorry, we are not sharing the same vision. He's not as passionate, and even if he didn't have anything to do that day though, like we were talking, so I felt like I was very hurt. And then I remembered I spoke to you, right, and you told me, like, Kat's not having done things in acting, but like not everything I start I can do. And I was like, I'm so stupid. Why did you make this energy? Muto ilimo, guys. Mujuma Arifa. How? Mo guy was he not a mediator? he was so many things during the production, and it was so beautiful that things panned out like that. Like, you gave us resources. You know how you're a motivational speaker by your character uses of motivational speakerish. It was needed in Mofenyi because there were lots of bumps, but because you were there, your character, you know what, you kept people saying, like, people wouldn't know what happens behind backstage, and I like that because you only must see the beautiful parts. But truth is, behind the stage, it's not pretty. It's ugly. All. It's sometimes very difficult. Yes, but then you were there. You understand, and I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. You are the best. You are bomb.com.
And the what?
The bomb.com.
The bomb.com. I must change my thing, my Instagram handle to the bomb. To the bomb.com. Okay, moving on from me. So
God provides us. Or could you say Dubai?
What's it?
Could you say Dubai?
Okay, that one. You want to Dubai one. So what is the long-term vision for Mofenyi? Because right now, this episode is actually going to come out on your 8th episode. I actually looked at the calendar. This episode is going to come out on your 8th episode. I feel like you guys have 9 episodes. Yeah. So, what is the long-term vision? Yes, the first season is almost finished now. What are the plans for the future for Mofenyi? I mean, you're going to be doing CTA next year, and I think and I think it's no lie that if you're going to CTA, you must expect to cut off everything. Literally, I was even talking to Ustwise, who was my first interviewee. You have to be willing to let go of Ness for that 1 year of you doing CTA, because CTA demands more than what you have. So with that into play, you're going to CTA, Ngeka, you're going to CTA next year. What are the plans for Mofenyi? How are you going to do it?
You know, I apologize, but I beg to differ. Like, I don't know, but as I said, this is the type of thing that keeps me sane. Now, if I leave something that keeps me sane in a year that's supposed to make you crazy, I'm going to be craziness. I'm genuinely going to be crazy, and eventually I'm already crazy.
And then you smile.
Yeah, but I am a bit but on a real,
I know it, by the way. Okay.
But yeah, Mofenyi, you can expect a season 2 in 2021.
2021 is next year, ne?
It's next year, dude. And I'm speaking it into existence because on a true level, whether it's CTA or Wilds, like, I don't believe in like studying. Even lecturers will tell you, or you can't be studying 24 hours.
True.
You can all say, Uzopenga. Yeah, is that Zulu name?
Aye.
Uzopenga. I don't know. You're gonna go. Yeah, you Usangana. No, but on a real, like, the long-term vision, my wish, my prayer was for someone to recognize it so that we get so much funding that, you know, it's even bigger and better. But I do know that at the end of the season finale, it's keeping people in anticipation, so people will anticipate a season 2. And I don't mind doing season 2, walking on eggshells again. I don't mind because I know at the end it comes out effective. But my plan, my wish, our wish is that it grows even bigger and better. But definitely season 2.
That one you're sure about? Oh, so which means your long-term vision is also like based on faith, which is someone sees it and then
that was the initial idea.
It could just boom our way.
The initial idea was for everyone in that place, because everyone has a passion in something, and we try to empower everyone. Like, if you have a passion in for example, like Lewis, in directing and stuff, someone must recognize you. If you have a passion in acting, like Lance, someone must recognize you. Stuff like that, like just for you to be recognized by someone be like, who's that? You get me? Because I believe it still happens. You know, faith, faith and favor work. But yeah, it was an aim for everyone must be empowered and come out with something.
I can get it, I can get it.